The storm had come out of nowhere. One moment the sea was calm under the fading golden light, and the next, the sky ripped open with violent winds that tossed the rescue patrol boat like a toy. Ayan tightened his grip on the controls, his knuckles white, eyes focused despite the rain striking like needles. His 9-year-old daughter, Mehak, was waiting for him at home, and he promised her he'd be back by sunrise. But right now, turning back wasn't an option. The Mayday call had been clear. A luxury cruise vessel belonging to North Star Industries had collided with a submerged reef. Passengers evacuated, one person still missing, and that one person happened to be the CEO, Alara North. Ayan anchored near the coordinates. The wrecked ship half-submerged, groaning under the weight of the sea. "Alara!" he shouted, scanning the tilted deck. Lightning flashed, and for a split second he saw her, clinging to a broken railing, waves crashing around her. Drenched, trembling, barely conscious, Ayan didn't hesitate. He leaped from his patrol boat onto the slanted deck, boots slipping, fingers clawing for grip. He crawled toward her, the storm roaring like an angry beast. When he reached her, she could barely lift her head. "You came?" she whispered, voice thin, shaking. "I'm getting you out of here." "Hold on to me," he said, wrapping an arm around her waist. The ship lurched. The railing snapped. Both of them slid toward the edge. Ayan tightened his hold, slammed his boot against a metal bar, and stopped the fall just inches from the frothing sea. For a moment they were suspended between life and death. Ayan breathed once, then pulled her upward, muscles burning, driven only by instinct and the memory of Mehak's smile. When they reached stable ground, he carried her in his arms, her face buried against his shoulder, her breath shallow. He got her onto the rescue boat, wrapped her in a thermal blanket, and navigated through the storm until the sea calmed behind them. By the time they reached land, Alara had passed out from exhaustion. Ayan lifted her again, feeling her cold fingers twitch weakly. She looked so different from the headlines. No power, no steel, no commanding CEO presence, just a terrified woman grateful to be alive. At the clinic, he stayed until the doctor assured him she would recover. Ayan wasn't expecting her to wake up, but when she did, she looked straight at him as if she'd known him for years. "You saved my life," she whispered. Ayan shook his head. "Anyone in my position would have done it." "No," she said, "not anyone." But before she could speak more, North Star Security arrived, took over, and whisked her away with layers of protection and protocol. Ayan went home to Mehak exhausted. He didn't even have time to process what had happened. He kissed his daughter's forehead, tucked her in, and collapsed next to her, unaware that the world outside was about to shift. By morning, the quiet village was buzzing. Dogs barked. Neighbors peeked from windows. A deep thundering sound grew louder. Ayan sat up instantly, instinctive tension rising inside him. Mehak ran to the window. "Baba, helicopters!" 3 matte black helicopters descended toward their small coastal settlement, blowing dust and leaves everywhere. Ayan stepped outside just as they landed in the empty field beside his home, military grade, government-level precision. This was no casual visit. The doors opened, and Alara North stepped out, not in a power suit, not surrounded by board members. She wore a simple navy coat, hair tied back, but even then she radiated presence, like someone who made decisions that shaped economies. Only now her eyes softened the moment she saw him. Mehak gripped Ayan's hand. "Baba, is she a movie star?" Before Ayan could answer, Alara smiled warmly at the girl. "You must be Mehak." Ayan stiffened. "How do you know her name?" Alara took a small step forward. "Because your father saved my life, and because I asked my team to tell me everything about the man who risked everything in that storm." Her voice trembled slightly, not with weakness, but gratitude she didn't know how to express. Ayan tried to keep his tone neutral. "You didn't have to come all the way here." "I did," she said. "I needed to see you. Both of you." Security guards respectfully kept their distance as she approached him. "You didn't just save me," she said softly. "You went back again and again, into that ship searching for survivors before you found me. My crew told me. They saw you through the cameras before everything failed. You didn't stop." "I've lost people before," Ayan said simply. "I wasn't going to lose another." Alara swallowed hard. "Your bravery saved my life. And not just my life, my company, my people, my responsibilities. Everything I carry would have disappeared if you hadn't shown up." Mehak looked up. "Baba always helps people." Alara smiled at the girl, kneeling to her height. "He is a hero. Ayan exhaled. Please, don't say things like that. I did what needed to be done.
That's what makes it heroic, Alara whispered.
She stood again, her voice stronger now. Ayan, I didn't come here empty-handed. I want to offer you something. Something real. He frowned. I don't want money. I know, she signaled with her hand. A second helicopter opened its door. A team stepped out carrying equipment. Top-tier rescue gear. New boats, drones, supplies worth millions. Ilara turned to him. You run rescue operations with outdated, dangerous equipment, she said. I'm funding your entire coastal patrol for the next 5 years. Ayan stared in shock. The villagers murmured behind him, unable to believe what they were seeing. I didn't ask for this, he said quietly. And I'm not offering it out of pity, Ilara replied. You saved me. I'm repaying you by strengthening what you're already doing, saving other people. She nodded toward the third helicopter. Mehak tugged on Ayan's arm, whispering, Baba, what's in that one? Ilara inhaled slowly. That one is personnel. The door opened, revealing a sleek silver case. Her assistant brought it over and placed it gently in front of Ayan. It's a scholarship, Ilara said softly. For Mehak, full education funding. Anywhere she wants to study, in any country, any field. Guaranteed. Ayan felt his chest tighten. His daughter's future, secure. Something he had dreamed about but never imagined possible. He looked at Mehak, then back at Ilara. You don't owe us anything. I owe you everything, she said, her voice breaking for the first time. You gave me back my life. Let me give something too. Mehak hugged her father's arm. Baba, can we say thank you? Ayan knelt to meet his daughter's eyes. Yes, love. But before he could speak to Ilara, she stepped closer. Close enough that the wind from the helicopter. Blades blew her hair gently across her face. I also came for another reason, she said quietly. A reason beyond gratitude. Ayan's heart paused for a moment. And what reason is that? Ilara's eyes softened. Like she'd carried these words all the way from the city to this small village. When I was on that ship, when I thought I was going to die, the only thing I wished was to not be alone. But when you held me, when you fought to save me, it was the first time in years I felt safe. Ayan inhaled slowly. Ilara, I'm not asking for anything, she said quickly. I just needed you to know that saving my life didn't just change my circumstances. It changed me. He searched her eyes and saw sincerity, not the polished, distant CEO the world revered, but a woman who had been shaken to her core and rebuilt with vulnerability. Ayan let the silence settle between them. Behind him the villagers watched, stunned but respectful. Mehak leaned against him, sensing something warm in the air. Finally he spoke. I'm glad you're alive, truly. And if my actions meant something more to you, I won't pretend it doesn't matter. Ilara smiled softly. A real smile. One no magazine had ever captured. I'll be in touch, she said. Not as a CEO. As someone who wants to know the man who saved her. She turned to Mehak. And I'd love to see you again, too. Mehak nodded shyly. You can come for chai next time. Ilara's laugh was light, hopeful. I'd like that. She walked back toward her helicopter, but just before stepping inside, she looked over her shoulder, one last, lingering glance at the man who pulled her from death, and the little girl who softened the moment. The blades roared to life. Ayan stood with Mehak as all three helicopters lifted into the sky, rising higher and higher until they disappeared into the clouds. Mehak squeezed his hand. Baba, do you think she'll really come again? Ayan looked at the empty sky, a small smile tugging his lips. I think this is only the beginning. Because the truth was, the storm had brought more than danger. It had brought destiny. And somewhere above the clouds, Ilara North was already planning her return. Ayan didn't know where life would take them next. But he knew one thing. When he pulled her from that sinking ship, he didn't just save a life. He started a story, and it was far from over.